Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, so we're live? We're good? Okay.
We've been live for 19 seconds
Oh,
now.
okay, awesome. Right.
Yeah, so the password is C4D59FG capital Omega.
You're giving us away to the internet. Stop. So, welcome to Big Curious. This is our, technically, I guess, third episode. And here, today, we have Vitalik, Jeff, and Addison. So we're just, this one's, and Hi, of course. So this one's going to be a fairly short episode. So I thought we're going to talk about Ethereum, but let's not. Let's just talk about whatever everyone has on their mind. So, yeah. How's your flight?
Yeah, went pretty well. They actually had like apple chips, and I checked and only had one ingredient in them, which was actually apples.
Nice. Okay.
Unexpected.
That question had a little bit to do with Ethereum, though.
Oh, really? Where?
Yeah, because the flight was going from New York, and there was an event related to Ethereum in New York.
Oh, okay.
And it was coming to Toronto, and then there was a lunch related where we talked about stuff related to Ethereum in Toronto.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, did you hear in Maui, they are the first, I guess, local jurisdiction in the U.S. to ban GMOs?
Huh.
Huh.
Yeah, the first. They're getting like quite a bit of a fight, but that did happen. And there was another company, I don't recall what company it was, but in Germany, they stopped using feed for their chickens that are GMOs. So they're going back to natural grains and whatever other feeds that they feed their chickens. So I don't know. This is as far as we can take the food conversation.
I was thinking we can go on GMOs. That'll be a great topic.
Wonder if my apple chips had
Or
GMOs in them.
factory farming of chickens.
Yeah. Oh, there was
If you want to
a
be
guy.
pedantic, they absolutely did.
How sad
We've
would you
genetically
make this
modified
podcast?
all of our food crops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sad, especially if we start like bringing up like videos of farmed chickens. There was one farmer that came out recently and just kind of, because I think by contract he's not allowed to show the inside of what actually happens, but he did anyways for whatever reason. So I'm sure he's suffering the repercussions of what that is. But like you see these poor little baby chicks that like they can't move because there's just so much space, and like their underbelly is like featherless. Yeah, it's okay. That's enough of
Very
that.
few laws about this
Oh, really?
in Canada. Animals in general, very few animal cruelty laws.
It's also, I mean, it's also very interesting to me, like that people think like this, like they find some region where there's like this big PR thing going on. It's like most like poultry farms in Canada, like you can just go and visit, and they'll be like, oh, sure, we'll show you. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I
not.
don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, like.
I think they're discouraging people from doing that.
Well, they could discourage you
Some
going in
memo
with a
about egg
camera
farms
and
telling
something.
people-
Yeah, there's all kinds of PR stuff, but it's not that secretive that like
well,
some big
if they're telling
cabal.
not to bring cameras. It's probably a little bit secret.
Well, it's probably an order from some association or something that's a PR gut reflex reaction to someone who doesn't understand the stray sound effect. But don't publish this. What? Publish this? Oh, okay. Let's put this everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, tell us a little bit about Ethereum. I actually kind of want to know. Just
That's the
most
one thing
recent,
not
most
to cover.
interesting, most interesting update. Tell us a little bit.
So we got forked by yet another project today.
Yes.
So this is Project Eris by some guys named Dennis McKinnon, Ethan Bookman, and Preston Byrne out of London.
Okay.
They basically, they were kind of working on Ethereum-related stuff back at the start of the year, and then I think at some point during like June or July, they kind of disappeared and started going off on their own tangent.
Yeah.
And today or yesterday, depends on the time zone, they had their big unveiling day where they announced the D server. As Wikipedia puts it, a portmanteau of decentralized server, and Thelonious, which I presume is named after the Thelonious Monkfish restaurant in Boston, which is pretty good. So Thelonious is like their fork of Ethereum, and it's their sort of blockchain thing.
Okay.
So they're kind of trying to mix a blockchain product that's kind of more mainstream oriented, I guess. Like they're adding in the ability to have features like central administrators over your own blockchain, the ability to customize your own mining algorithm, and so forth. So like the track that they're kind of taking, it's kind of like, you know, what Ripple is to Bitcoin, they're trying to be to Ethereum almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting track.
Do you see any of them, like any of these forks, as a potential threat to when Ethereum launches, now that there's a little bit of a timeline? Because it's estimated March, right, sometimes?
Yeah.
But you can't tell people, because
Exactly.
if you do, they'll line up their miners and get it ready, so you have to be like
Right.
kind of, boom, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it was released yesterday.
So, just, you know, one warning to everyone trying to fork us: there are critical security flaws that we know about in past versions of Ethereum code. Hint, hint. But
Oh, we know that forks of major projects always fix all of the security bugs. Yeah.
no, actually,
That's
I actually checked their code. There's 2 of them. So.
Okay.
Is this like dictionaries where they're putting fake words or encyclopedias with fake entries so you can detect?
Actually, no. We didn't mean to, it's not something we meant to do. It's more something that we meant to not think about until POC7 time. And, you know, we thought about it now, and Ethereum proper is fine. And of course, you know, the other news about Ethereum is that we're actually getting a comprehensive security review. So, like, there, you know, we've been starting to work with a bunch of companies around that, and we've got some pretty good leads.
Okay.
More expensive than we thought in some ways, but, you know, fine. We have a budget. We'll spend it as best as we can.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay.
That's cool.
Jeff, from a technical perspective, what's going on? I figure I just had to.
Well, we have all that fun going on with blockchain.info and their errors and implementation of their signing.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that causing all sorts of havoc?
Well, I mean, okay, so first of all, my disclaimer up front, to their credit, they have acknowledged the error and guaranteed to reimburse all funds for affected users. So kudos to them. Now, to their luck, some good Samaritan is giving a lot of those coins back to them because he's harvesting the affected addresses before bad actors just steal the coins. So they are very fortunate in that regard. So the amounts we're talking about here is like 500-600 Bitcoins.
Wow, that's huge.
That they basically, by bad cryptographic implementation, they basically left lying in the street for anyone to pick up who knows the know-how. But
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
I couldn't pick it up, is what you're saying?
well, you could if you had the right script,
Oh, okay.
except that script has probably already been run. And blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
I mean, in Pi Bitcoin tools, I have one script to take advantage of a different potential flaw of deterministic wallets. But I should probably add a tool in Pi BTC tool, like scan an address for two transactions
That
that
share
you know,
the
you
same
could,
R value. Or,
yeah, and then subtract and divide, get the private key out. Should be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, the thing that I found even scarier actually was about a few days later when they.
the password. thing.
Yes, the passwords thing. So they you know, so you know how in a whole bunch of most of the time when you get like support emails from proper corporations, all the time there's a disclaimer at the bottom that says, or there's a disclaimer somewhere
We
prominent.
will
that says-
never ask for your password.
Exactly. We'll never ask for your password. If someone asks for your password, please report them to us immediately. They're almost certainly a scammer. And here we have blockchain.info, as in the actual legit company blockchain.info, asking for people's passwords by email.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't received one of those, so I'm guessing, hopefully I'm not affected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the particular leaked funds issue
Yeah.
was addresses created in a certain time window. Like basically they had pushed bad code to their live site without properly testing it. And anyone who created a wallet during that time was affected.
Okay. Do you know what the time period is?
Oh, it was a really specific time period. Like
Okay.
it was like between 12 and 4 a.m. Eastern time, like last week or whatever.
Oh, okay, I'm good then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very short window, and they had a public security disclosure before a lot of this blew up, saying yes, it was affected. And
Okay.
initially there was a little bit of uncertainty around that because they hadn't right up front said they were going to reimburse funds, but then they came and said yes, it's our mistake, we will reimburse funds of any affected users. And then this forum user popped up and said, oh, I swept all of those. If you can prove that these are actually the addresses in question, then I can return the funds.
Oh, okay. Okay, Cool. And is he the one that requires the password? Is that why they're
No,
reaching
no, no.
out?
That's blockchain themselves.
So why are they
Although that
asking?
is a good scam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are they asking for the password then? Or
Well, that's what everyone else is asking.
oh,
They shouldn't be asking for the password.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics of why they asked for the password. It was maybe like a customer service person who wasn't properly trained, or I don't know the details.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's such a cop-out,
Okay.
though.
Mhm.
Oh, our customer service person wasn't trained. Well, whose fault is that?
Well, it's an organizational problem. Like, to be honest, both of them are organizational problems. If you're pushing untested code to a live site, that's a problem whether it contains errors or not.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, training customer service, especially anytime money is involved,
Yeah.
you really have a due diligence of training people for these specific things and whatever. But
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to understand, what's going on with blockchain info as a company. Like, they've been having all these weird incidents. Like, they got delisted from Bitcoin.org a couple of weeks back, and now this, and then the password.
well, they were
thing.
delisted for stuff very related to their ultimate problem too.
Right.
So like.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, okay, they got a $30 million investment,
Mm-hmm.
and what now? Like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, what are they
Yeah.
going to do with it? And a lot of,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of things like that where it's been a little bit like questionable and slow, and
Mhm.
the issue, like they had issue with bad entropy on their mobile wallets a while
Mhm.
back,
Oh, right.
and like encouraging address reuse, which is just not good practice, and
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff. But
How do you change your address with them, actually? That's a question for me.
so I don't use blockchain.info.
They don't really support the whole generate new addresses automatically thing, I believe, last time I checked.
Yeah.
Okay, that could be, yeah.
Yeah.
And because they don't have HD wallet support, if you do generate new addresses, then you have to do a new backup. So that's that too. But.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of their basic site functionality has been broken for a while and not fixed, like searching partial addresses and stuff like that.
If only someone was creating some sort of next generation technology that would address some of these problems.
Yeah, if only, right?
A new, even more advanced blockchain explorer website.
We'll call it the Ether Explorer.
The Ether Explorer,
Oh,
yes.
tell us about this.
No, the Ethernet Explorer.
Yes. just to be really
Shorten it to
confusing.
Ethernet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about Mist.
Yeah, so Mist is basically, meant to be the window to the Ether world. It's sort of, it's kind of like a browser. It's a fork of Chromium, and the point is that people can. Theoretically, it's all the same sort of HTML and JavaScript technology. So if you wanted, you could just access normal websites with it. But the point is that you would use it to access decentralized applications. And decentralized applications are basically like the same kind of HTML and JavaScript code that you would see in normal web pages, except instead of talking to a server, it talks to the blockchain, and it talks to Whisper, which is the messaging protocol that we're building. So. Mist, the kind of plans that we have is that, first of all, actually, it's in a usable form right now, and it's obviously going to be in a somewhat better and more usable form for 1.0. But we do have a pretty long roadmap if we want to do something like build in obviously a really good permission system, because all this dApp security doesn't really have that much of a point if people can just get around it by just having the JavaScript clean out all your money, and you have no way of confirming or stopping that.
Yes.
So,
But that's the cool thing with Ethereum, is that you can build more advanced security models that actually work, and it's even not even as simple as like multi-sig, but more advanced stuff.
exactly, it's advanced security models, and also I think inside the browser, like the nice thing is that we're basically creating internet with an authentication scheme built in,
Yeah.
as opposed to like in the internet we have right now, it's sort of bolted on top with Facebook and Google and so forth, and
So does that help with the way that the internet is going? Can we theoretically jump over to Mist and use it as like a decentralized internet? Excuse my ignorance. I don't really
yeah,
know.
I mean, Kind of. Eventually,
No.
it'll take a while.
Okay.
Well, if you built, so you could build the one thing on top of that, and then you need to start storing all of your actual content in some decentralized fashion, and then you have to.
Like eventually, Mist will support storing decentralized content in some decentralized fashion. It's just.
So,
It's not really the use case for it right now.
so
It's
well,
more
what is
about
the use
dApps.
case?
I mean, right now the use case is to build dApps that interact with Ethereum. And a bit after that, it'll be dApps that interact with Ethereum and Whisper, and then after that, it'll be dApps that interact with Ethereum and Whisper, and can also have their static content hosted in this, decentralized cloud.
Okay. So what you're saying is I can't check my email on it yet?
Not yet. I mean,
We should call it the fog. That's the decentralized cloud is the fog.
sure.
Store it in the fog.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, and what about like social networking functionalities? At what point do you think we'd be able to see that on Mist?
So with an identity system inside of Mist, it should be not that hard to build social networking stuff.
Okay.
And
do you require people to do any type of authentication, or is it just can I make 3 pseudo-anonymous if I wanted to?
You can make as many pseudonyms as you want, I think, is our model. So if you want, you could even go with the 1 pseudonym per application model.
Okay.
And lots of that would come down to the specific choice of the person who implements the social network stuff. Like you could have a model that's like totally boring and centralized, where every one identity has a limited number of links to other identities and whatever. You can have like a more abstract model or whatever. So
You could even have one that just pipes all your information to the government.
yeah. No, I don't think anybody's working on that. I mean,
Not yet.
It's a startup idea.
Oh, have you guys heard about that one country that's
Ask
completely
Palantir.
online?
oh, except Facebook, but
Is it? Shoot, it's in Europe. Estonia.
the Estonia has the online digital identities.
Right, they
thing,
do, right?
yes.
And apparently
And actually,
it saved them a lot
Nigeria
of money.
is working on one as well, but
Okay.
they're subcontracting it out to MasterCard, so that's a little bit odd.
Yeah,
but-
that is a little bit odd
Yeah.
because
So emails from a prince offering me $40 million will finally have an identity system on them.
Yeah, you can pay them by MasterCard.
MasterCard's
So
contractor
Cool.
based
Oh,
out
that's
of
great.
Lagos, Nigeria.
I mean, once I actually tried to accept Bitcoin from one of those people, and for some reason they never replied back to me.
really,
Yes.
because then if I was the one that sent that, I'd be like, yes, here's my address, please send it here.
nice.
Well, no, the guy was actually saying, hey, I want to give you the $10,000. Please give me your banking info.
Oh, you gave him your
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
There's actually a lot of fun scam baiting I can see being done with Bitcoin and phishing scams and things like that. Do you guys know about scam baiting? Which is like
Yeah.
when the fisher is like trying to get stuff out of you, you try and get stuff out of them.
Yeah.
419 eaters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, you had a really interesting Senate update, didn't you?
No.
We had this. No? Okay.
That's not very interesting.
Oh, okay, never mind. We'll skip over it then. But that's about time, so thank you guys for joining this
Thanks,
short
Sean.
episode.
Yeah, thank
so,
you.
yeah.
Good luck
So-
with the show.
Thank you.